Well, happening today, the Supreme Court hears a last-ditch challenge to halt the imminent shutdown of TikTok, which is still scheduled to happen on January 19th. Today in the Bay's Ginger Conejero-Saab joins us live in San Francisco this morning. And experts say, Ginger, there's really no legal precedent for a case like this.
And that is why it's a pretty big deal, Laura, not just because TikTok has around 115 million users, but because this legal challenge in the court's highest, or in the country's highest court, really pits two principles that we value so much as Americans: free speech and, of course, national security. And that is at the heart of the arguments for this challenge, arguments for and against TikTok's ownership here in the country. So let's take it back to last year. Back in April of 2024, that is when President Biden signed the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. He signed it into law, and it received broad bipartisan support. It stipulated that unless ByteDance sold TikTok to an American firm, it would be banned in 270 days. Now, we haven't seen a sale or a deal yet, and the 270 days is set to expire on January 19th.
The concern here is that a lot of users are just giving away a lot of information about themselves and about what they do. And that, that could be used for consumer purposes. But one of the arguments is that in the aggregate, it could be used against the U.S. in terms of national security.
That is Richard Craig, a journalism professor at San Jose State. He says we have never seen anything like this. Now, a ban on TikTok would have massive implications, but what does it mean for the everyday user? Well, that could be outlined in a decision from the Supreme Court. But if no word comes before January 19th, it's possible that users would still be able to post or use the app if they've already downloaded it, but you might not be able to get updates or re-download it after that. So think about all the content creators that we know make their livelihood on those apps. They're going to have to change things up or use a different platform. But really, whether you're talking about free speech, national security, or content creators' bottom line, this has those massive implications, so, Laura. So this is definitely something we're going to keep an eye out on.
Yes, most definitely. All right. Thanks for all the details there, Ginger.